was actually very, very young, and I was writing poetry, and my mother would put me with other poets who would help me cultivate my writing. So I was very young when I started, maybe around 6, 7. And then around 13, I auditioned for a performing arts high school in Louisville, Kentucky called Youth Performing Arts High School. And I got in for theater, so I was in the theater program. And then for my senior year, I got into, my teacher asked me to get into a playwriting program. So every day after school, I'd stay after school for an hour, and I would write plays and learn the art of playwriting, and started through college and touring little different plays. And for the last 25 years, I had, traveled and toured with plays up until 2015, when I wrote my first sitcom pilot called Ward of the State. So it was really exciting, and it was one of those things where I was like, I've been writing plays for a long time. I'm really excited about going into now screenwriting. I really loved, and then started writing other screenplays and pilots, and realizing that screenwriting was something else I was really strong at.
What was it about writing plays that intrigued you?
What I love about plays, I'm a director also for theatrical. What I love about plays is there's such a synergy between the actor and the script and the words. When you're writing a script, you're free. Those monologues, you can write as many monologues as you want when you're writing a script, but when you're actually writing a screenplay, it's more about the action. So that's the difference.
You've got a million things coming up. So let's talk about the thing that's most exciting for you right now. You mentioned that you just shot and wrapped something. Share with our audience the name of your project and what is it about?
Well, the name of the project is Dreams from the Edge, and it's a short film I'm very excited about. I think what made me excited to create that project, by the way, it's starring Bernadette Stanis, who was Thelma from Good Times, who I was a huge fan of. Mark Curry from Hang with Mr. Cooper. It's a dramedy short film, which I hadn't seen. I love creating what I don't see. And I don't see a lot of stories about Black life that shows us in not so much just dramatic ways, but just shows our everyday life. Some of the things that we go through, which is work-life balance, or trying to have dreams in the middle of trying to balance our life. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And just real stuff. Like, I don't see that. Everything's so different. And we don't get to see that we're just as amazing as anyone else. We're just as scared as anyone else. We're just trying to figure it all out like anyone else. And Dreams to the Edge is about a daughter, basically, who's trying to become an actress in Hollywood, but she realizes her mother, who once was an actress too, and she has some challenges, has to do with the fact that she didn't live her dreams. So I talk a lot about the responsibility in this short film for our children about our parents. Sometimes kids just kind of throw our parents to the side. They're getting old, like they'll be all right. Yes. But up until the day they die, until they breathe their last breath, they still have a song or a book or a dream. And we can get so caught up in our lives and what we want and our relationships that we just kind of, some people let the parents just melt away. And I don't like I was raised on my grandmother and aunts and my mother and a lot of people that, have old bones in my soul. And I want to make sure that we make sure that we remember our elders and we remember their dreams. If the longer that they can dream, the longer they'll live. And it is up to us to help them to continue to dream. My daughter's in this, and it's weird because she's been acting since she was around 5, 6 years old. So this was her first short film. She's done some different things on Disney, small like stand-in roles. And so, the thing about this one, this was her first ability to really shine. And she understood it because she's seen, so many older people. She understood the concept. She was like, Mom, now, when we do this, you're not going to be saying a lot of things about me, like in front of everyone. I'm like, no, honey, it's not how I direct. So I think it was good for her to see. I direct from an aspirational standpoint, like, how can I help you to grow better? How can I, how can I make you excited to be on set? So I think she just didn't realize how much fun she was going to have. And I had to respect that as an artist, she needed that space. I couldn't be mom, the stage mom. I had to be director. And it was easy for me because I'm a fan of hers, I'm such a fan of hers and my mom and a lot of the women in my life. And, so it's easy to kind of watch them shine. It was exciting. A lot of times I'll write something and I'll know, like when I wrote Ward of the State pilot, I knew when I wrote it that I wanted Janet Hubert to play Diana Ward in Ward of the State because she was like this Black Audrey Hepburn, this regal, classy goddess, and I knew there's only a few actresses that could play that in the way I was wanting it, this old Hollywood kind of way, and Janet was amazing. Same thing with Bernadette. With this role, I needed someone who gave me the sense of old Hollywood, but just had the class and the beauty and I needed her to be a central part of this. And she was just so regal. She was beyond what I expected. She was regal. She was beautiful. She was strong, but she was generous. She was generous to the director. She was so respectful. She had a good ear. She brought something to the role. So I'm just so proud of her. Mark Curry, it's like I knew I wanted, again, with films, you always, especially with Black films, sometimes we get pigeonholed. It has to be either dramatic or either funny. It can't just be a dramedy. And with this, I really wanted to have the big emotional moments, but also have the kind of the comedy part, which Mark Curry is such a big fan. Hanging with Mr. Cooper and how he was so classy and how he would come to work in suits and he would have his briefcase and helping the kids in school, but he was setting such an amazing example. So he was just hilarious. Like the whole time I was on set with him, like I'm a mess. Like he was so funny. Like he just so funny and down to earth. Just like he's just like, I'm so happy to have him and that he's out here and he's about to do some big things and just excited to he had never worked on a short film, by the way. He had never worked on a film. And I didn't even know that. This was his first film ever. So, he'd always kind of, again, you get pigeonholed into television and that's what people know you as, but I just had the best time ever working with him. And so I'm excited to work with him again. Just using different people and showing other people's amazing talents. And I mean, you're talking some of the best. I mean, Janet Hubert, Benedict Sam, you're talking some of the best in Hollywood, Mark Curry. These are our legends. And so it was awesome to be able to work with them.
Now, you said you're in post-production, so give us a timeline for when we might see this and what's happening with Dreams from the Edge.
We are editing right now, so looking to have a sizzle very, very soon or a trailer. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have it and we'll be ready to go at the top of the year for film festivals around the world. Always thinking about what don't I see? I'm looking at the landscape of the world and where are the holes? And that's basically how I operate. And the holes, to me, where I don't see a lot of Black people in film festivals, then I should be doing it if I'm going to ask why. So I just decided to do it. And that's basically how I do anything. I'm like, let's just do it and see what happens. So I did it. And there weren't many Black people. There was a couple of Black places or places like Black House, which is amazing. Carol Shine's over that. And I think BET was there. I think Essence was there somewhere, but there weren't a lot of Black, it's expensive to have events there. So I just felt like my business partner and I of Ericka Nicole Malone Entertainment, Philip Robinson, we just decided to put together an indie director spotlight, and that's what we did.
That's
and
fantastic.
It was amazing. We had director Maddie Rich, who directed Straight Out of Brooklyn and The Inkwell, which I love The Inkwell. Jada Pinkett Smith, Lauren's Take, one of the cult classics, Straight Out of Brooklyn, of course. So, and he was there talking about his new film, The Cure, that he's got coming out. We had some wonderful people there talking about their experiences, and it was just awesome. It was an awesome, awesome event. One of the things that I do is I meditate a lot. I spend a lot of time in silence. I spend a lot of time listening to God. I spend a lot of time listening to my breathing. My breathing will tell me if I'm stressed out or if I'm thinking too much, or I'm very connected to myself, like in my inner self. I don't allow a lot of negative people in my space. And I listen to my body and I listen to my consciousness. If I'm around someone who makes me feel drained or heavy or sad, I remove myself from those environments. And I think we're such, especially as Black women, we're such caretakers. We're always trying to take care of everyone that we end up putting our lives in the balance sometimes, trying to do that. I'm really mindful of that. Whatever time God has on this earth left for me, I don't want to lessen it by my decisions, my poor decisions. So I'm always listening. I'm just listening. What are you, God? What are you directing me? What are you telling me? And listening to music, listening to just going out on the porch and just sitting and listening to air. There's so much amazingness on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, everything. Like I could spend a week, because I love being by myself. So I could spend a week just in love with life, just watching TV. But you have to watch that. You have to keep there has to be a part of you, 25% of you open, that's just listening to the voice of God, just listening to you, just listening to air, just not taking in all this energy. Now we got social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. It's just so much. How do you stay centered with all of that? You have to condition yourself to spend more time alone. Be the best you can be. Because I just remember being on my bicycle when I was a little girl and riding through the bicycle as a Black girl. I'm with my hand on the handlebars, wind blowing in my face, and seeing all the white girls with blonde hair, blue eyes, and they were my friends, and they didn't have any doubt that they could be anything that they wanted to be. They thought and they knew that they could be anything they wanted to be. There was no inhibition. And I studied that. And, you keep hearing all these, and, these problems, these are the challenges, the obstacles, which we do have, which they're there. But I kept that image in my mind that they believe that they can do anything. But just because I'm who I am doesn't mean that I can't. If they can do it, I can do it. I am not going to set one more limitation in front of me that they don't set in front of them.
Good.
I am as good as they are. Excellent. So that would be my advice. Just you be you. Don't take no for an answer. It's so beautiful. That's such a great, beautiful, rich question. I know why the cage bird sings.
Yeah.
I just remember one Christmas, and this is a nerd moment, but I remember one Christmas not even going anywhere the whole Christmas day because I was reading that book. And it just it launched me into the moment. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. I think it's Judy Blume, I think. Trying to figure out back then what it was like, growing up and why life was so weird. Of course, The Color Purple, Alice Walker, Maya Angelou's poetry, all of it, phenomenal woman. But then I read A Woman's Worth by Marianne Williamson, which was pivotal. I only bring that up because I was about 20 when I read that book. And it was about basically a woman's worth. And it really spoke to me at that time, trying to figure out who I was. That it's okay that you don't fit into a particular box and that you're different and that you're valuable. And so it was a treasure. So I think, and then getting younger, Waiting to Exhale in the 94, I was still so kind of young. Waiting to Exhale, of course, was on everybody's coffee table. I know that there were people that came before all of us that took the whips, took the beatings, took the doors that were slammed in their faces, took the books snatched out of their hands when they wanted to learn how to read. And I know that their belief and their dream was that we were coming. The fact that we were coming is what held them together, what made them take another step. It's what made them keep walking even though they were bleeding. And I feel that I owe a sense of respect and gratitude and a determination that I will not let doors deter me. I will not allow their dreams to not be realized. You know, when she said, this is really the words of Maya Angelou, when she said, bringing the gifts that our ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. And what Dr. Angelou was saying basically was, we didn't have any money, right? So what were our gifts? Our gifts were our wisdom, our knowledge, our fight, our courage, our strength. So bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. We are their hope. To this moment, we're still their hope. They still watch over us. And that is what gets me through those doors. I know I'm not alone. I know I have my grandmama's bones in me, my mother's fight and everything she took in me. And so every Black woman or any woman of any race, you're not alone. Your ancestors paved the way for you to stand where you stand right now. And there's no doors shut that are not going to open for you if you keep pushing them. My handle is at Ericka Nicole Malone, Instagram. Also www.ericcanicolemalone.com. Also Twitter, Ericka Nicole Malone. I pray that everyone just goes after their dreams. And, you know, if you have even a small seed of a dream, believe that everything that you want is going to come to pass.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, your knowledge, your wisdom, your spirit, and all the beautiful things. And we're excited to follow your journey. And we're just happy to, have this conversation. So thanks again.
Thank you. I want to say one more thing. I did Umbrella for the Sunday Indie Directors Spotlight and also Dreamhouse MBG. I want to thank them also for that. They helped us pull together that whole Sundance Film Festival. So anyway, thank you so much.